This week, Framework had a huge series of announcements and a specific Linux shoutout that piqued my interest. Plus, the Steam Deck had its 3-year anniversary and we're going to talk all about it. And what does the latest update to Deadlock tell us about the future of Valve games? All of this and more today. That's right, it's Steam Deck and Linux gaming news time. So this week we saw Framework reveal details on their upcoming hardware refreshes with a live event in San Francisco. And I have to say, their hardware is now more appealing than ever. At the event, Framework's founder Nirav Patel said that they deliberately designed for Linux compatibility, and that 2025 was, quote, truly the year of the Linux gaming desktop. They even shouted out Bazai and Proton, and they had live offstage demos available at the event. Mentioned at this event was an upgraded Framework Laptop 13, which brings the AMD Ryzen AI 3000 series to the familiar chassis. I've got the current model Laptop 13 that they sent to me to review, and it has absolutely become my primary laptop. It's what I use for everyday productivity, when I'm out on the go, and for gaming even. So the fact that they're able to release upgrade kits here and to reuse these chassis, it's wonderful. They've also introduced new colorways for their expansion models and bezels to give your device a bit of customizability, patchwork, and flair. But that's not all. They also announced that they're going to be bringing new key switch modules to the market, which should allow developers to be able to expand the Laptop 16's keyboard with extra keys, which has been hard, if not impossible, to do up until this point. They also announced an education-focused Laptop 12 in multiple colorways. It features a touchscreen with stylus support, a 180-degree hinge, and the same modularity as the Laptop 13. They said that these will be priced for the entry-level market, but also that everyone on their team wanted one too when they got the prototype in their hands. I'm so excited for this announcement particularly because, especially if it's priced well, school districts will be able to pick this up for their students, and we all know that kids nowadays really need some extra help when it comes to learning about PCs. I'd love to be able to review one of these and recommend it to my educator friends. Finally, Framework announced the desktop. Now, this is an entirely new category for them, but it does have the same focus on modularity as their laptops, with a caveat. The motherboard is a mini ITX form factor and it's housed in a tiny 4.5 liter chassis. The product page on their website lists 3 SKUs, the Max 385 32GB, the Max Plus 395 64GB, and the Max Plus 395 128GB. The names here indicate the CPU and memory in each build, and this is more important than ever since these devices ship with LPDDR5X 8000 RAM chips, which are soldered directly to the motherboard. This is because, according to Framework, these Ryzen chips require tight integration with the RAM in order to get such high bandwidth and throughput. Other than that though, these chips come with Radeon 8060S graphics, and it can run games without breaking a sweat. I mean, we're talking major AAA titles here too. This is absolutely awesome to see, and I am so stoked to be able to try any of these products out for myself. And I have to say that it fills my heart with unabashed joy to see the industry shifting towards freedom, not just sustainability and repairability, but the freedom that Linux provides on the software side of things too. I am a huge fan of Framework, and I cannot wait to see any of these new devices in person. Did you know that I made a video game? It's true, it's on Steam, Itch, and Humble right now. It features Rich from Fan the Deck and Bill from Nerd Nest as announcers for the game. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my game. Go ahead and check that out. It's got a great soundtrack that was made by one of my favorite bands on the internet, the Brothers Nylon, and I'm really proud of the game, so go check that out if you're so inclined. So Tuesday this week was the 3-year anniversary of the Steam Deck. It's hard to believe that it's been 3 years, honestly. So I thought it would be fun to take a look back at some of the major milestones and maybe see what's been going on in development for the last 3 years. I mean, first of all, there have been 14 major releases of Proton, which is the secret sauce for making your Steam library functional on SteamOS. Valve not only creates Proton, but they also release the source code free of charge for anyone to use, which is a highly commendable thing and I think needs to be shouted out more often. In that time, there have been over 17,000 titles rated as playable or verified in the Steam Verified program, with many more playable without that badge. We've also seen huge updates to SteamOS and the Steam client. Massive changes like HDR and VRR support, as well as color settings and calibration. We have multi-window management now, which was a thing that was sorely lacking at the beginning of the Steam Deck's life. There's a blue light filter now, HDMI CEC control, per-app performance profiles, game recording, and improved family sharing, and so much more. But they also released an OLED-backed hardware refresh with Wake on Bluetooth support and tons more features. And let's not forget about how the Steam Deck changed the handheld market. The ROG Ally looked like it was an April Fool's joke at first, until it wasn't. And then Lenovo came out with the Legion Go, which was a huge hit, and now we have the Legion Go S with SteamOS support coming out soon. The Steam Deck has really shifted attitudes and converted hearts and minds when it comes to Linux gaming, and that's a huge deal. I've been doing this channel for over 10 years at this point, and I've seen the greatest amount of growth since the Steam Deck came out. Before the Steam Deck was announced, Linux gaming was seen by common PC gamers as a joke. Now, it's got the backing of Valve, and it delivers a better gaming experience than Windows could ever dream of. But it's also been a massive deal for me personally. When I originally started this channel, it was called The Linux Gamer, and eventually people weren't really that interested in Linux gaming, so I kind of shifted gears. But when Valve announced the Steam Deck, and they sent me one to review, well, that was a big deal, and it really changed the game for me. Valve not only sent me the original Steam Deck to review, but they also sent me an OLED model days before the release, and I was super grateful for that. My most popular videos of all time have been because of the Steam Deck. It's honestly hard to believe how far we've come in just 3 short years, but here's to another 3 and beyond. Now, I don't know, what do you think? Do you have a Steam Deck? How long have you had yours? Let me know in the comments down below. What's one thing that you'd like to see changed with the Steam Deck? Software or hardware? And while you're down there, why not like that smash button? It's the best way to tell YouTube you want to see more videos just like this. And did you know that I release a new video every Monday and Friday morning? Get subscribed so you don't miss those. Now, I want to thank my amazing Singularity members over on Patreon. If you believe in the work that I'm doing and you want to make a monthly contribution, you can use the links below and in the pinned comment. Alright, we just saw a new update for Deadlock this week, and this has been months in the making. Deadlock, if you're not aware, is Valve's kinda, sorta latest game. They haven't really announced anything about it besides releasing it to the public in what seemed like a beta test at some point, but now it's just kind of like available to anybody. I don't know, it doesn't even have like an official key art image in your Steam library right now, which I find very strange because it's really still in development. But this new update has redesigned the map so that it now has 3 lanes instead of 4, and this has caused a whole bunch of knock-on effects. The changes range from building placement to visuals, pathway designs, neutral camps, air vents, breakables, power-up buffs, juke spots, mid-bosses, and more. Now, I've only played the game a little bit, so I don't know what all that means. But they've also added a new feature that lets you explore the map without other players or AI characters getting in the way. Now, competitive online games really aren't my jam, but I'm talking about this for a very important reason. Deadlock is built on Valve's Source 2 engine, and some folks have been mining this new update for details regarding what other Valve titles might be in the works. And man, has there been some interesting tidbits found here. Back in December, I talked about HLX and how all signs point to external playtesting of Half-Life 3. And while that's really exciting, given the time, it was also quite anxiety-inducing. Why? Because Valve goes on vacation over the holidays, and we've seen many examples of games being in a state of playtesting which ends up stalling out over the holiday break and either never releasing or getting severely delayed. I mean, Deadlock is even one example of that. Well, based on this Deadlock update, signs are now pointing to very late stage development work on HLX. HLX appears to be the internal codename for Half-Life 3, and this one change in particular indicates that the finishing touches are underway. Now, this string right here, HLX FSR min reactiveness, why is this important? How could this possibly suggest that Half-Life 3 is closer than ever? Well, take this with a grain of salt because this is speculation, but FSR 3 is not a development tool. It's not something you add to a game mid-production. In fact, it's something you add very late in the production cycle. I believe the fact that Valve's adding FSR 3 to HLX means that we'll soon hear about the game in an official capacity. I don't know, very exciting stuff. I can't wait to see what Valve has in store for Half-Life and other games that they're working on, including one that I've heard seems a bit like Minecraft or like something like that. I don't know, that seems pretty neat. Anyway, that's my video. That's all the news I wanted to cover today. I want to thank my members on Patreon and my YouTube members for making this show a reality. If you want to get your name listed over here, then you can use the links below to make a monthly contribution. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday.